Topic 1. Minouche Shafik, appointed as an economic advisor in the UK, indicating potential shifts in economic policy and strategy. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has appointed economist and former Columbia University president Minouche Shafik as his chief economic advisor. This move is part of a cabinet reshuffle aimed at strengthening the government's response to economic slowdown and immigration issues. Shafik, who previously served as deputy governor of the Bank of England, recently completed a brief tenure at Columbia University. Her appointment suggests potential changes in the UK's economic policy and strategy, as the Starmer government seeks to promote economic growth and curb inflation. Topic 2. Tensions in international politics, with suspected Russian interference affecting EU leaders' travel and Trump's reluctance to confront Russia. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen's plane experienced GPS signal interference while en route to Bulgaria, with suspicions pointing to Russian involvement. Russia has denied these allegations, but the incident underscores the need for increased defense and security investments in Europe. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump is hesitant to impose further sanctions on Russia, fearing it may push Russia closer to China. Trump aims to maintain his image as a peace mediator, considering the potential strengthening of China's influence if relations with Russia deteriorate. In this context, Ukraine feels that Trump's actions are insufficient and is looking for stronger measures to resolve the conflict with Russia. China, Russia, and India are strengthening their economic and political ties amid deteriorating relations with the West. Topic 3. China advocates for AI cooperation and rejects Cold War mentalities at the SCO summit, hosting leaders like Modi and Putin. At the Shanghai Cooperation Organization (SCO) summit held in Tianjin on September 1, 2025, China called for enhanced cooperation in artificial intelligence and rejected Cold War mentalities. The summit was attended by over 20 foreign leaders, including Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Russian President Vladimir Putin. Chinese President Xi Jinping announced that China has invested $84 billion in SCO member countries and will support vocational training programs for 10,000 students. This meeting is interpreted as China's attempt to emphasize its role as a global peace mediator against the backdrop of trade tensions with the U.S., Russia's war in Ukraine, and the Israel-Hamas conflict. Xi also mentioned that improving relations between China and India could enhance Beijing's influence. The SCO summit marks a strengthening of economic and political ties among China, Russia, and India in a multipolar world. Topic 4. U.S. trade policies under former President Trump face criticism and legal challenges, with a court ruling against them. Former President Donald Trump's trade policies are facing legal challenges. A federal appeals court ruled that his extensive tariff policies violated the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEEPA, declaring most tariffs illegal. This ruling supports a previous decision by the U.S. International Trade Court. Trump claimed that the tariffs have induced over $15 trillion in new U.S. investments, but independent analyses suggest this figure is exaggerated. Economists counter Trump's claims, pointing out that tariff revenues come from U.S. importers, and the assertion of minimal inflation is inaccurate. The future of tariffs remains uncertain, and Supreme Court intervention may be necessary. Topic 5. Afghanistan faces a humanitarian crisis after a devastating earthquake, prompting the Taliban to seek international aid. Afghanistan is facing a severe humanitarian crisis following a magnitude 6 earthquake that struck primarily in the eastern provinces of Kunar and Nangarhar, resulting in over 800 deaths and at least 2,800 injuries. Rescue operations are hampered by rugged terrain and adverse weather, with affected areas cut off from communication.